Thursday. There is nothing else better in the whole world than Fantasy Football Thursday. Bear with me. I am having some technical difficulties, but I will be back very, 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 very fast. Kind of dropped the ball here early on, but I'm going to be ready to roll very, very, very fast. All right. There we go. All right, listen, I apologize, everyone. I apologize. Hey, listen, man, I dropped the ball. All right. Fantasy Football Thursday, really good Thursday night football game. I'm pretty excited about. Oh, boy, I am still having some technical difficulties here. Bear with me. There we go. Okay. So I am streaming to you live from Facebook. I'm sorry, live from YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, just be aware that comments will not flow over from Instagram to StreamYard. It's something that I may get some different streaming software down the line, but right now. Sizu, what's up? What's up? By the way, I'm sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late. Okay. Real fast, I wanted to focus on two players, Nick Chubb and Jonathan Brooks. Now, Jonathan Brooks is not returning to practice this week. He's on the PUP list. There was some talk about him maybe being able to practice, possibly playing like week 5 or 6. He's not even coming back to practice. Now, the way Dave Canales' offense worked in Tampa Bay was they pretty much abandoned the running game as a quick, passing game that was, it took a little bit of time, but they once they made the change, because Tampa Bay started off, if I remember correct, it was like 3-6, 3-7, and then they won the division. Part of it is that they just said, hey, look, we can't run the ball. Let's not even try to run the ball. Let's just utilize our short passing game. Dave Canales left as the offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay, take over Carolina. That they made the change for Andy Dalton indicates that they're going to run this short passing game, which means that the value of running backs is going to go down as far as running the ball. Now Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders are pretty good receivers. Jonathan Brooks, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I didn't really feel like that was his strength, but if you watch him run the ball, he's kind of an old school running back, to be honest with you. He's about 6 foot. He's 210. He's got really good speed, moves, just natural running ability. He was a lot of fun to watch at Texas, but because he's not coming back to practice, if you have a losing record in fantasy football, or even if you're 2-2 and you have Jonathan Brooks, I would strongly suggest you move on from him immediately. Does he have any trade value in your league? I can't answer that question. So if you have Jonathan Brooks and your record is 1-3 or you're 0-4, and just move on immediately. Okay, that's the best advice I could give you. Now, Nick Chubb, on the other hand, is coming back to practice, but it's an unknown timetable of when he is going to play. So with Nick Chubb, if you are a fantasy football owner and you have Nick Chubb, I would still recommend you hold off, but he's probably not playing this week against the Commanders. There is a chance that he's going to play week 6. And I should have had that pulled up before I came on here, but week 6 at Philly, I'm going to level with you. So the way the schedule works is week 6 is at Philly, and then there's 3 straight home games. Starting with Cincinnati, you have Cincinnati, Baltimore, and the Chargers. My guess would be that they're going to make sure that he's prepared for week 7. possibility against Philly week 6. What does this mean for fantasy football? The same kind of situation, if you're trying to make the playoffs and you have Nick Chubb, I would see what kind of trade value you can get. The one thing I want to emphasize is that I am a massive Nick Chubb fan. By the way, this is my boy here. He is the B in the Back Talk Brothers, the great one, known as the talent. Gooch, man, thanks, brother. And Gooch is giving me some love here. I may not always comment, but I tap in to support my boy Dan. Hit the like and subscribe. Gooch, thank you very, very much, man. I really, really, really appreciate it. This is just my boy right here. I just think the absolute world here of Gooch. I'll leave this comment up for a while. So if you have Nick Chubb in your fantasy football league, if you have a winning record, if you're one of those lucky people that are at 3-1 or 4-0, and you have Nick Chubb, I strongly suggest you hold on to him, but realize he may not play till week 7. I have a massive man crush on Nick Chubb. For those of you that don't know, he played at college at Georgia. There was a running back by the name of Todd Gurley. Some of you may remember him, some of them may not. He was the Heisman front runner. He would have won the Heisman if he stayed healthy. I mean, he was just dominant. He was playing at a crazy high level. Got injured about midway through the season. I think it was an ACL tear. I don't remember exactly, but he would have won the Heisman if he was healthy. When he got injured, Nick Chubb came in, and I went to social media and I said, I think that this guy is better than Gurley. And I got all sorts of hate. Hindsight, I think I was right. I really think I was right. Him and Sony Michel ended up being one of the greatest college football running back duos in history. Sony Michel is retired, but he was a first-round pick. I think the Patriots whipped. They took Sony Michel instead of Chubb, but that's neither here nor there. Sony Michel did win a Super Bowl, so. And he was a key part in that Super Bowl victory, too. So, but my point is that I always have a man crush on Nick Chubb. So when I talk about Nick Chubb and I talk about how much I think he's a good player, that has something to do with it. That said, when he plays, he's as good as any running back in football. Not the best receiver, but he can catch the ball. I remember as a true freshman, he was like 190 pounds. I think he put on what I like to refer to as the NFL 20 naturally. And I think that he's a guy that holds the 220. I don't think he's naturally a 190-pound guy who's bulked up to be 220, 225, like Reggie Bush was, like Christian McCaffrey did. I think he's naturally, around 215, 220. So this is just a dude who's got home run speed, powerful, vision, balance, body control, the whole 9 yards. This is a guy who I really like a lot. So Armando Zapata Jr., what's up, brother? This is a good one. All right. I got an offer of Bowers for Olave. Okay. By the way, I just have to let you know I'm a huge Chris Olave fan. So this is interesting. I have Lamb, Godwin, Olave, Higgins, Deontay Johnson, K-Met as my tight end. Should I counter with Johnson or Higgins for Bowers? He has Kelsey starting in his 0-4. Okay. So he's starting Kelsey and he's wanting to trade you Bowers. That's really interesting because as much as I love my boy Travis Kelsey, I might start Bowers over Kelsey, even though I am a long time Kansas City Chiefs fan. That's interesting. Okay, so you already have Lamb. That's obviously your number one, and then it looks like you got some guys you're kind of rotating in. I like Bowers a little more than I like Kmet. Fantasy football wise, I like Bowers a lot better. Keep in mind there is a chance that with the Devontae Adams trade, which I firmly believe that it will happen. It's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. I should have known this. The trade deadline, I don't know the exact day, but I want to tell you it's after week 8. So Bowers would help your lineup. Okay. I would counter though with Higgins. And the reason why I say that is that Olave and Godwin, I think are legitimate number ones on their team. You have Mike Evans with Godwin's kind of a 1A, 1B thing. I know Rashad Shaheed has home run speed and we'll get more highlights, but trust me, Derek Carr likes Olave better. Deontay Johnson, I saw that there was some trade talk action. So I would try, but T. Higgins is a guy that's kind of being phased out. So this is my recommendation. I like Olave a little bit more than Deontay Johnson, but I'm going to level with you. I think that with the offensive line situation, the way it is with the Saints, also that they want to be more of a running team. Carolina's going to be more of a passing team. I would really like to have both those guys. I would move Higgins for Bowers with your situation because Bowers improves your play. The guy that has Kelsey starting over Bowers, I'm okay. My thought process is that maybe he thinks with Rashee Rice they're gonna go and overload Kelsey. But anyway, that's kind of interesting. By the way, would I take this offer? In your situation, I'm leaning towards it. I would rather you move Higgins personally because they're kind of phasing him out, and that's what I would do. Would I take Olave for Bowers? I would, only because Bowers is going to improve your team. With Olave, Lamb's your number one guy. Godwin's always going to get your points. You have some value with Deontay Johnson. I would recommend trying to move Higgins instead. If you can't get Higgins, make the move for Olave. Even though I really think Olave's production is going to start going up, but there is some offensive line problems in New Orleans, and they're a team that's going to use Kamara a lot more than Carolina's going to use combination of Hubbard, Sanders, and maybe Jonathan Brooks down the line, which, by the way, he's not even practicing, I kind of play, like if I was doing a fantasy football draft, I would draft Olave before I would draft Bowers, full disclosure. But in your situation, because K-Met's probably not getting you too much, and I have no confidence in Caleb Williams. Plus, I believe Keenan Allen is going to play this week. That's just going to take a lot of touches away, red zone touches too. So, I do like this trade. I would really recommend moving Higgins instead if you can. Let me know what happens in this. Please stay in touch with me. I'm toying around with making Friday Fantasy Football Friday, but as I'm doing it right now. I'm going to call it Week 5 preview, but it's Friday's just kind of an open forum. I'm trying to get more guests. I have Keaton from Keaton Talk Sports that comes on every Monday. I love having Keaton on. I'm trying to get different guest stars to come on Friday, and I just haven't been able to reach out to as many people as I would like. There's several guest stars I want to come on. I'm trying to get that to happen on Friday, but yeah, please let me know. Sizu, well, yo, Dan, what do you think about Godwin today? Big or hard game? Okay, so I like Godwin against any opponent. By the way, I really don't think it matters. I think Godwin's guy is just really, really, really good. He's underrated too. But one thing is about Evans. Evans takes away touchdowns. Godwin's the guy that it's more likely to get yards and receptions. Atlanta may have the best secondary in all of football. And there's a lot of injuries in Tampa. If you watch my picks video, which I forgot to put this up here, but please, if you haven't already, please check it out. It's a great video. Full disclosure, I did pick Atlanta, but I think Tampa Bay's got the better team. I think they're really banged up. I'll be honest with you. I think he's one of those guys that I would always bank on to have, like, a 5-6 catch game, 50, 60 yards. I'm not sure he gets in the end zone, not against this really tough Falcons defense, specifically the secondary. I like the fact that on a short week at home against a banged up Bucs team, I everything kind of favors Atlanta in this type of game. Godwin's also one of those dudes that, there's a few situations. You remember 2 days ago that guy was trying to make a trade for Justin Jefferson. He had CD Lamb, Amon-Ra, and Justin Jefferson. Like, if you have that type of team, Godwin's not starting. I would probably say that about 50 to 60% of teams that have Godwin on their league are going to start him in some kind of capacity. So, and I don't think he's going to get shut out by any stretch of the imagination, but I think that it's going to be a low-scoring game. If there is going to be a passing touchdown, I could see it being more Rashad White or Evans getting that score. To answer your question hard, but Godwin's one of those guys that I would tell most fantasy football owners that if you have Godwin, play him every week. But is he that guy that's like CD Lamb or Amon-Ra or Jamar Chase? No. So and this is a tough matchup. You're on the road, short week. Your team, there was at the start of the week 15 players on the Bucs injury report. So I believe I have a free win this week because he didn't change the lineup. So I think I am safe starting how I want. I always encourage people to don't go into that. I remember I went against one guy one week that knew almost nothing and he didn't do anything, and I was convinced I was going to beat him, and he just wiped the floor with me. It was just he auto drafted, and it was funny. It was like three of his players. We worked together. We sat next to each other, and like three of his players, he didn't even know who they were. It was just auto drafted, and like all three of them had like big games. So I encourage you to not be overly confident, because when he lost or when he beat me, I was so mad because I was like, dude, you had a hockey player starting at receiver, and yeah. So don't be that way. Here, let me see here. What is he has one bye and one startings. Okay, yeah. I do feel don't be overconfident. Make sure that you go into the lineup mindset. Not my forte of giving mindset advice, but go into the matchup, do everything you can like the guy's got a full starting lineup. But yeah, if he's starting Rice and Cup, yeah, good luck. Yeah, you should win. Should. But I mean, let's analyze everything tonight. Do you have anybody playing tonight? Is there any changes that you can make? And I hope to hear back from you Monday. And we're congratulating you on a win. If aren't you 3-1 so far? I could be wrong about that. Alex, what's up, brother? Mooney or Addison? Both are tough matchups. I just talked about Atlanta and Tampa. Tampa, despite the injuries in secondary, still really, really good defense, very well coached. It's on a short week, which I do think benefits Atlanta. Addison clearly is the better player. Tough matchup in London versus a really good Jets defense. The good thing about if you start Addison, Sauce Gardner could. Normally, the Jets defense, they don't have Sauce Gardner cover the number one guy. They normally don't do that. So you have a good opportunity with Addison to get some points. I've been saying the same thing over and over and over again until they prove me wrong. I don't like anybody on Atlanta. I think Bijan Robinson, they'll probably kind of force feed him. Mooney. When I watch Atlanta, Mooney's the guy that really stands out, and he's really the guy I think that they should get the ball to, but they, for whatever reason, won't. London games are so weird, man. London games are so weird. You got the weird grass. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes the field is in bad shape. The big trip affects different teams differently. A team like Jacksonville that goes over every year has an advantage. They're going to play 2 games over there this year, if I'm correct. I want to tell you Addison. I really do. I would probably go with Addison. What I'm hesitant about is that Mooney in a short week against a really banged up team and secondary in Tampa. That's a really good matchup. The matchup I think favors Mooney. I like Addison, but the London games are so bizarre. I'm going to tell you Addison, but sometimes it's fun to have a guy on prime time. Sometimes it's fun. I love playing guys on Monday night. I love it. I just get such a kick out of it. I don't get the same kick out Thursday, but I'm gonna level with you. I would go with Addison. I wouldn't blame you if you do Mooney. If you come by the way, let's say you start Mooney and you come back Friday and you're like, hey, Dan, Mooney got 80 yards in a score, and you told me to go with Addison. How dare you? I'm going to be like, hey, don't listen to me and be happy. I like Addison because I really think that going against the Jets number 2 guy is an advantage. Justin Jefferson taking the heat off, and Darnold's been hot. The Jets defense is good. London's weird, but I would go with Addison. Jonathan, what's up, brother? Man, full PPR sit 1 between A-Chain, Zach Moss, Wendell Robinson. I'm not a Wendell Robinson guy. I didn't like him coming out of the draft. I thought he was my least favorite draft pick, not the player. I remember he was drafted way too high. Seattle's really banged up defensively. I will say that. I love the extra rest. And I also like the fact that Neighbors is, going to take some pressure off them. So you're going to get some cheap targets, some easy targets. And even though I'm not a fan of the player, the one thing I do like about him is he's one of those guys that when he gets the ball in the open field, he can make some things happen. I like Zach Moss quite a bit. That's one of my crushes. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I should have this memorized. I don't. They play Baltimore, but they're at home. Baltimore traditionally has a good defense. Their defense really hasn't played that well this year. It really hasn't. It really hasn't. I'm not, if you're a Ravens fan and you want to yell at me like, oh, we got this. Are you really playing lights out this year? Really? I haven't seen it. And I also like the fact that you're at home. Miami is kind of a mess. I'm going to tell you, Moss. Okay, you have to sit one. Give me 1 second here, because if Mozart is playing, I might tell you to sit A-Chain. Mozart's questionable. And I might tell you, limited participant in practice. Okay. I'm a guy that really likes to start running backs because you have the potential to get so many more touches, and a guy like A-Chain's got the home run speed. I'm going to tell you to sit A-Chain. I think Moss is due for a score. Both running backs have been putting up some good numbers in Cincinnati. I'm not buying Baltimore's defense being great anymore. They got some really, really, really good players, though. I mean, they got several players I like on all three levels, but the defense overall isn't playing that good. New England has a really underrated defense. It really does. And with the quarterback situation, normally I would say, hey, they're going to lead on A-Chain, but I noticed that Jalen Waddle got some more touches. They put Tyreek Hill in the backfield. I don't know why Jeff Wilson's not getting more playing time. And if Mozart does play, I would definitely sit A-Chain. You're in a good situation where you can wait, and that's what I'm going to recommend you do. Right now, Moss, Wendell Robinson. Find out about the Mozart situation when you're a limited participant in practice. That leads me to believe, look, Miami needs a win. They're probably looking at going to New England and saying, hey, we can get a cheap division road win, but we have to have everything. We have to have everything out there. And that means Raheem Mozart probably gets a lot more touches. A-Chain goes on the bench. I think Moss would be the one I want to start. I kind of like that matchup with New York traveling to Seattle. Seattle's on a short week. The Giants played on Monday night. And one thing is that that defensive front with Seattle is decimated with injuries. Even if a couple of the guys come back, they're not going to be 100%. The Giants' offensive line's not playing bad. I mean, Daniel Jones played pretty well against the Giants or against the Cowboys. You're going to say Danny scored 15 points and no touchdowns. He had 290 some yards. Wendell Robinson, I think, was at 11 for 80 or something like that. That's really good in a PPR league. So yeah. Godwin over Hill, Higgins, and Diggs. The only thing I'm going to tell you is that I'm kind of leaning towards what you're saying. However, Diggs going against Buffalo at home, you may want to put Diggs in there. I just got a feeling that they're going to try to get Diggs at least one touchdown. May want to put Diggs in there. Normally, I don't do these type of things where, like, it's an emotional thing. I think that revenge type of thing normally is just for us fanboys, but you may want to go Diggs this week. And by the way, benching Hill's always like, but if you want to go Godwin, man, that's a tough matchup, man. I'll level with you. I would probably go Hill or Diggs over Godwin. But I mean, the good news is that your guys starting Rice and Cup. So Denver Gator! Yes! Denver Gator, if you haven't had a chance yet, check out my latest video. By the way, I don't want to say it on here, but there's a few things. I'll have to get a hold of you, but personal issues. Blank 13, I'm here to help. What do you need, man? What do you need? Twitch or YouTube? Fire away. I got you, brother. Oh yeah. What's up, Chris T, brother? Little love for Denver Gator. Jason, man. All right, Jason. I have a weekly picks video, but I'll ruin it for you. I'll be honest, I didn't know you were a Vikings fan. And it's funny because there's a guy I work with who's a huge Vikings fan. I picked against them a couple weeks ago when they played Houston, and he gave me some stuff, and I told him I just went skull. It's one of my upset picks. I got the Jets in London. London's weird. The Jets defense is really good. I think Aaron Rodgers. I kind of like Aaron Rodgers against the Vikings defense. I'm not sitting here saying he's going to go for the old school Rodgers where he puts up 304 touchdowns, but as a football junkie, I love the Vikings defense. It's so much fun to watch. A 6-man front, maybe they bring 2, maybe they bring 3, maybe they bring 4, maybe they bring all 6. It's very confusing. Brock Purdy, when the Vikings beat them, went up to Brian Flores. He's like, man, that defense is tough. I think Aaron Rodgers will be able to figure it out. And you're going to say, Dan, he didn't figure out the Denver defense. Yeah, I know he didn't. I know Aaron Rodgers now is not the Aaron Rodgers of 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. The defense played really good. The offense, I just don't see the offense just doing that bad back-to-back weeks. London's a weird thing. So I like the Jets this week. By the way, if you watch my picks video, please do, Jason. I got several upsets, but that's one of them. So, by the way, man, dude, I'm sorry. I do see the Twitch comments, so I'm sorry, man. I didn't respond, but I'm here. I'm going to answer all the questions. I got you, brother. Are these two separate questions? I'll answer them both. I think they're the same. All right. Joe Burrow, Brandon Ayuk, Kyron Williams, Brian Thomas Jr., Trey McBride, questionable. Joe Mixon, questionable. Austin Eckler, questionable. Chase Brown, Anthony Richardson, questionable. DeAndre Hopkins. Okay, so first of all, I think you got some incorrect information. Austin Eckler is out. Joe Mixon's not going to play. Anthony Richardson is probably going to play. Trey McBride, I don't know about, but Burrow, Ayuk, Brian Thomas Jr. are going to play. Kyron Williams, I'm almost positive is going to play. Eckler is out. He's been ruled out. So hopefully I got that information out of the way. No game, Dallas. Okay, no game, Dallas. Goddard. No game, Gibbs. No game Amon Ra. No game Young. Okay. Okay. So Detroit, Tennessee, Philly, and the Chargers have a bye. Okay. Dallas plays this week. Dallas plays Sunday night against Pittsburgh. That's going to be a fun game. Young Ho Koo plays tonight. So, and by the way, Young Ho Koo, I would strongly suggest starting. This is a game you really want to start Young Ho Koo. This is a good game to start him. So you really want to start that guy. Make sure you start him. I mean, the game's going to start here in a couple hours, so make sure you get him in. Seattle plays the Giants. Now Seattle's defense is beat up, but I didn't see any Seahawks players here, so. All right. So let's see here. Burrow, Ayuk, Williams, Brian Thomas Jr., McBride, Mixon, Eckler, Chase Brown, Anthony Richardson. Okay. All right. Let's start. Let's start with quarterbacks. All right. Anthony Richardson's a little banged up. I've been saying for a long time that he's not going to start forever. I don't like what they're doing. When Flacco came in, everything looked better. Anthony Richardson, they're going to start. He's got an oblique injury, which possibly could affect his throwing motion. I'll be honest with you, like any kind of like trunk injury affects your throwing a lot more than you think. To me, this is a no-brainer. You have to go with Burrow. So we got that out of the way. I would, if you have Joe Burrow on your team, there's not very many guys. Also, after that 0-2 start, Cincinnati, for whatever reason, starts 0-2, and then they get hot. So you got Burrow. Let's go with Burrow. Starting. Okay. Kyren Williams. I kind of like that matchup. Green Bay comes to town. It's a home game. I kind of like that matchup. So Kyren Williams, you want to play. Okay. Dallas Goedert. Oh, okay, Dallas Goedert's out. Hold on here. Brian Thomas Jr., I would play. The reason why is the Colts secondary is a little banged up here. Where is Arizona? Okay. Check the injury report. If McBride is, you may have to wait here. Limited participant in practice. Okay, so I feel good about McBride. So if those are the only two tight ends you have, you go with McBride and hope that he's okay. So we got that out of the way. Okay, you have another receiver. I'm trying to see. Okay, DeAndre Hopkins. This is going to sound mean as hell, but I mean, oh, never mind. 10. Oh, God, you got two receivers on the bye. Okay, so you're going with Brian Thomas Jr. You got no choice to go with Ayuk, and that's not a bad option either. So you get Ayuk, you get Brian Thomas Jr. You're going with McBride, Kyren Williams, definitely. And then you have no choice to go with Chase Brown. Yeah, Seattle's defense, huh? Okay. If you're able, I'll be honest with you, Seattle's defense is beat up as they are. Is there any waiver wire defenses in your league that you can pick up? I definitely would do that. Young Ho Koo must start. By the way, I think Young Ho Koo might do something really good for you tonight. I mean, you could potentially have a 15 to 20 point game from a kicker, which I know usually sounds unusual, but two defenses this good in a dome game. I think Young Hoo Koo, I think he could have a really good game. I would not be surprised if he ends up being the second or third highest scoring player. I seriously would not be surprised if he has something like 4 or 5 field goals tonight, and one of them's over 50 yards. It would not surprise me at all. So, Burrow, by the way, I love. So you're in good shape. Brandon Ayuk, one of these days, is going to bust free, so you're in good shape there. Kyron Williams, I got a feeling is going to have a big game. Brian Thomas Jr., against a beat-up secondary, you're in a must-win game, could have a huge game. What waiver wire options do you have? I don't like the Seattle defense at all. There's got to be somebody better that you can pick up. I'll be honest with you. I'd almost rather have the Giants defense. That might be available. Cleveland Browns defense might be available. I doubt it, but I know against Washington, a lot of people say that's a bad matchup. I actually think it's a good matchup. The reason why I have a problem with Seattle's defense is you got almost a whole defensive line injured, and the Giants' offensive line's actually playing pretty well. I have no confidence in Daniel Jones. That's another situation. Probably can't pick up like the Bears defense or anything like that. Is there a waiver wire? I'll be honest with you. I'm looking like through here. There's Seattle to me this week is like a bottom 5 matchup. You could even go with a defense like Green Bay or LA, the LA Rams. And I know the LA Rams against the Packers sounds bad, but I'd almost rather do that than Seattle. Said almost. Was it? There was or was it? Can you get the Raiders or Broncos defense? See if you can get another defense. I seriously, I wouldn't even blame you if you just dropped Seattle's defense. You had a good start, but that's up to you. I'm assuming you're in standard league, PPR league. I mean, it's a tough week for you. I get it. You got a lot of players on buys, but Burrow is solid. Ayuk is solid. Williams is solid. Brian Thomas Jr. is solid. Trey McBride going to play. And if he does, I think he could have a monster game. Fred Warner, I don't believe is going to play. So, and then, make sure you start Young Hoo Koo. That could be. I hope that you're coming to me tomorrow and you're like, hey man, I'm glad I started Young Hoo Koo. He got me 20 points, and it's very, very, very possible. So, but I could almost recommend. There's got to be in your league. There's got to be a defense available. There has got to be a defense available that's better. Can you let me ask you this here, because I know I'm a little behind on comments. If you can during the show, great. If not, by the way, either defense playing tonight would be a better option than Seattle. But if you can't do it today, do it tomorrow. DM me, email me, whatever. But let's get you a better defense. The rest of your team is pretty solid, to be honest with you. You mentioned Burrow or Richardson. To me, that's a no-brainer. So hopefully I answered your question. Hopefully I got your lineup set. I think we got the running back situation settled. You're going with Chase Brown. You're going with Williams. Receivers, Ayuk, Brian Thomas Jr., McBride, your tight end, Burrow's your quarterback. You need a flex. Am I correct? You're without a flex. God, you don't have a flex. Okay, so Burrow. Let's see if I got this right. You got Burrow, Williams, and Chase Brown. Ayuk, Brian Thomas Jr. You have McBride. You need a flex. Shoot, that's a tough one. All right, some flex options. Just rapid fire. Antonio Gibson. Do you have a spot available? God, you might have to drop somebody. Okay. Out of this team, is there any possibility? Well, it may be a little late in the week. I would try to move. Okay, if you can't trade, I would try to move Anthony Richardson, see if you can get like a low level flex player. Fantasy football options you may be able to pick up. Antonio Gibson of the Patriots, running back. There's some talk that he may start. That'd be a good option. Kareem Hunt, that's a possible waiver wire guy you may be able to snag. Trey Sermon, running back for the Colts, that's another option you may be able to snag. Chiefs receiver Juju Smith-Schuster, probably not going to get you a lot of points. Maybe able to snag them just for this week. Because if I'm doing this right, let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, you're going to have to drop somebody. Okay. You're in a tough spot. You're really in a tough spot. Because you're going to have to drop somebody. I would try to pick up a new defense. Almost anybody better in Seattle. If a trade, is there anybody in your league that would be interested in trading for Mixon or Eckler? That's an option. Let's say you can't. Let's just hypothetically say you can't do it and you have to drop somebody. Okay. You can drop Mixon. You probably won't be able to get him back. You might be able to drop Mixon. You might be able to pick up Akers after this week if Antonio Gibson doesn't pull out. Kareem Hunt, Trey Sermon. I don't want to tell you Ezekiel Elliott, but I mean, you're kind of in a tough spot. That's trying to think here. What about Trey Benson? He might be a waiver wire pickup. Might be able to get you a cheap touchdown. You could drop Mixon or Eckler. You're gonna have to drop one of those guys. I'll be honest with you. I'm almost leaning towards Mixon, but dropping Eckler, I don't think would be a bad idea. He wasn't really productive. And they like Brian Robinson Jr. Plus, I think with Daniels running the ball, which I don't think he should do, I think that value. But if you dropped Mixon, I wouldn't blame you either. That's kind of your choice. Other players you could pick up that might be available. I would rather you pick up Gibson. You might be able to pick up Jeff Wilson Jr. or Jalen Wright from Miami. I don't like either one of those options. Might be available. Miles Sanders for Carolina is another guy. Might be available. You'd have to take a look. These are all assuming that trades are not out. I seriously, I would reach out and see if somebody in your league wants Anthony Richardson. And the reason why I say that is, let me take a look here. I think it's later in the year. Okay, so Cincinnati has a week 12 bye. Okay. You're going to start Burrow every week till week 12. Anthony Richardson just is there anybody that would trade him for anything? And you might have to do like a package deal that doesn't benefit you, like Anthony Richardson and Mixon for somebody you're not super high on. Yeah. I'm hopefully helping you out, but worst case scenario, I would strongly suggest like if trade's not in the mix, drop Mixon or Eckler. Leaning towards Eckler, but I wouldn't hate you if you just wanted to go Mixon. Try to pick up one of the guys that I mentioned. If you have some other options, waiver wire, I would really see if you can work a deal out and try to trade Anthony Richardson for anybody you can start this week, because the way your team's set up after this week, you're in good shape. I mean, you're in really good shape. Brian Thomas Jr. upside, Trey McBride upside, Amon-Ra legitimate number one, Burrow upside, Kyron Williams upside, Ayuk upside. Hopkins hasn't been playing well. Goddard, one of the best tight ends in football. So, and Young-Ho Koo, really great kicker to have on a struggling offense. I've always liked that. So hopefully I answered all your questions here, but if you have more, just drop a comment. I'm going to take a very quick commercial break. And when I come back, we'll be with hour 2 of Afternoon Delight. Stay tuned. I'll get it here in just a second. My award-winning NFL Weekly Picks video is out. Now, don't watch it right now. This is just a small commercial break as I'm using the bathroom, or more than likely I'm fixing my hair. But make sure you do check it out. It's fantastic. As Afternoon Delight takes a commercial break, we remind you that BetUS is a proud affiliate. The video in the description below shows how easy and fast it is to collect your bonus. Click on the link in the description below and start winning today. All right, I'm getting an energy drink, but I am back. Hour 1's in the books, coming back with hour 2 of Afternoon Delight. All right, hope I helped you out. Andre, what's up, brother? Sizu, my plan was to start Collins, DK, and Godwin in flex, or would you put Hill in for Godwin or even more? I would really suggest Hill instead of Godwin. DK's been solid the last couple weeks. Collins is a must start, and Solon has a good point. But the one thing I'm going to tell you is that with Huntley, so here's what your situation is. With Hill, you have the much higher ceiling. With Godwin, you have the much higher floor. You know what? Correction. You know what? I'm wrong about this. I'm overthinking this. You have your guy that you're playing against now. Hopefully he doesn't change his lineup. But if he does start 2 guys that aren't even playing, you just want to get the most points that you can get. You don't want to, if you're going against a guy where you're projected to lose, I would put Tyreek Hill in but go with Godwin. Your situation, go with Godwin. Yeah. I seriously, I could see this being the game that Hill breaks loose, because Tyler Huntley overthrew Hill on last week, and then he underthrew Hill. Just practicing together, I could see that working, but yeah. Just picked up Trey Sermon with Rashee Rice going on IR. Will I start Sermon at JT? Absolutely. Yeah. If only if Jonathan Taylor is out. If that's the case, then yeah, you would want to start Trey Sermon. By the way, Trey Sermon is not a bad running back. Like if Jonathan Taylor goes out, you can put Trey Sermon in and you're in good shape. Like, is he going to be the same impact? No, but you're in good shape. You have James Cooks, Cooper Hubbard, and Aaron Jones in flex thoughts. I would start all three of those guys over Sermon. Let me take a look here because I think Jonathan Taylor is going to play. All right. I really think he's going to play. I'm going to ESPN, not the best source. But 1 hour ago, he didn't practice. Ooh, ooh, boy. All right. I still would go Cook, Hubbard, and Jones. The guy I would be leaning against playing would be Aaron Jones against a tough Jets defense. You may want to go Trey Sermon over Jones. Hubbard against Chicago is another one that I would also, I could see that going. I think James Cook is a must start. You know what, I probably would start Thurman. Here's the issue is that I like Chuba Hubbard the last couple weeks. Chicago's a tough matchup. I love Aaron Jones. Tough matchup against the Jets. I like Sermon fresh against the Jags defense that's kind of banged up. So would I start Sermon? Probably. My issue is Hubbard or Jones. I'm leaning towards Sermon starting over Jones. Leaning is the key word here. I could also make an argument that he's a better option than Chuba Hubbard. To answer your question, though, would I start Sermon? Yeah, I would. I think that I'm going to level with you. I know he didn't practice. I think he's going to play. That is my guess. I think you're doing the right thing, and we'll be back tomorrow. So yeah, we'll keep an eye out on that because that's something I didn't have a chance to look at before I came on. So I do want to keep an eye out on that. But yeah, you do want to start Sermon. The question is, do you want to bench Hubbard or Jones? Leaning Jones. I'm wishy-washy on that, but yeah. Rodgers will not have any answers for the Vikings. He might not. That defense is really. You're a Vikings fan. I forgot. Yeah, so you hate me right now. My buddy is a Vikings fan. Gave me some of the business when I picked Houston Texans over them. But I want to say this: if anybody can figure out that defense, somebody like Rodgers could. Another thing is that the Vikings are a little different away from home. So Jets have a really good defense. The Jets defense played great. It's just their offense just, ugh. So yeah, you're right. Well, here's another thing is that his lineup has two guys that aren't playing. Do I think he's going to get that by halftime? I don't know. I don't know. I think Tua has the higher potential, and the more Huntley plays, the better he'll get. That's another thing. No, I'm here to help, brother. I'm here to help. I hope that I gave you a good answer here because I hope I gave you a good answer, and it just kind of stinks because Mixon's. I'm like 90% sure he's not going to play. And you're in a bad situation because you got so many guys on a bye this week that, you're kind of in a rough spot. Now, I mean, if you're really sold on Mixon and Eckler, you can keep both those guys and just have an empty spot. I've seen guys do that, and I've also seen guys with an empty spot win. Keep in mind you have some matchups that could really work out. I mean, Young Ho Su's going to have good production. I got a feeling Kyron Williams could have a monster game. Brian Thomas Jr. There's a guy, he's not in the chat, at least I haven't seen him yet. Perry, longtime regular. He's been telling me since March Brian Thomas Jr. is the best receiver in the draft. He's that high on him, and the upside's crazy. So you if you really want to keep Mixon and Eckler, you could. So yeah, I'll say yeah. And by the way, I kind of like Diggs this week. And that's something. Yeah. I kind of like Diggs against Buffalo. That's kind of what I'm thinking. By the way, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't recommend Collins and Diggs. This situation, I would. This situation, I would, because Diggs is a petty dude. Like he's going to get up. Like he's going to get at least one score this week. It's not the same deal, but you may not. I don't know how old you are, but there was a receiver named Steve Smith, longtime Carolina Panther, spent the last couple of years in Baltimore. But his first year in Baltimore, it was like week 6. They played Carolina, and Steve Smith had like 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. and I gotta feel it. Like by the way, this would be Diggs' probably best game of the season. So Sean 019191, man, I would normally recommend Darnold. He's red hot. I like Trevor Lawrence this week. It's crazy, I know. Look, London games are really weird. The Jets defense is good. The Colts defense is not good. You're at home. You need a win. This week only, go with Trevor Lawrence. I would start Trevor Lawrence. I know it sounds crazy because Darnold's playing lights out. We were talking earlier this week who's NFL MVP. Darnold's name should appear. If you took Darnold's stats, right? You took Darnold's stats, and instead of saying, "Hey, this is Sam Darnold," you said, "This is Patrick Mahomes." You're like, "Oh, MVP." This is Josh Allen, MVP. This is Joe Burrow, MVP. But this week, I really would go Trevor Lawrence. I really would. And I hope Darnold doesn't go for like five touchdowns and 400 yards. I really don't think he's going to do that against the Jets. The defense is for real. So, yes, absolutely. Do some trades. You may want to take a harder look at the waiver wire. There's got to be a defense. And also, I would make a move for Anthony. I would trade Anthony Richardson if you could. I've been saying this for a while. It's just a matter before Flacco becomes a star. I've been saying that about Will Levis too. Like even though my boy Denver Gator is going to hate me, but yeah, try to see if you could make a trade for Anthony Richardson. Somebody out there may want him. Keep in mind, you just want to get by this week because after this week, you're in really, really good shape. Or you have a combination of a lot of buys. I would try to get in. I would with your roster, I would go with I would move Anthony Richardson. And then after it's just going to be a matter of time. You're going to have some waiver wire players become available. You're going to have Mason Rudolph, who's going to be a starting quarterback in Tennessee. He's going to become available. I have no idea what the Tua situation is in football or in your league. Tua may come back. Joe Flacco is the name that you want to keep an eye out on because I think he will be the starting quarterback sooner or later. But you only keep in mind you're only going to need a quarterback for down the line. So, yeah, I would move Anthony Richardson. You may have to move Mixon or Eckler. Worst case, I scour the scour. I'm going to take your word for it, but if you keep scouring, you may be able to find somebody. But yeah, see if you can do a trade. By the way, if you can make a trade today, you want to drop that into the comment. I'll be live tomorrow, so we can work on this tomorrow. But you get by this week, you're in good shape. So, y'all, should I trade my Josh Allen, Brian Thomas Jr. to receive Hurts, Jalen Reed? Okay. I'm going to tell you no, and I'd be interested to hear what the chat has to say. But to me, this is a definite no. Allen and Hurts is not that bad. The thing with Jaden Reed is that he had 2 touchdowns last week. The week before he had nothing. The week before he had 1 touchdown. The week before he had nothing. Brian Thomas Jr.'s production is just going to keep going up and up and up. It's going to get more consistent. One thing you have to understand is that with Jaden Reed, you got Christian Watson, you got Josh Jacobs, you got Tucker Kraft. You're going to have more guys get touches. Jacksonville, I can make the same argument. I get that. They are gushing over Brian Thomas Jr. All right. I think that you're losing really. I'll be honest with you. I think you're losing on possibly both ends. Jalen Hurts is going to throw the ball a lot more. In Philly, you get AJ Brown back. I understand you have some limited weapons in Buffalo, but I would not recommend doing this trade. By the way, Crafty, if you say, "Hey, screw you, Dan, and your fantastic hair," I'm not going to be one of these guys that's like, "Oh, you didn't listen to me. I hope you lose." No, I'm going to pull for you. I would not recommend this move. I really wouldn't recommend this move. I think when everything's said and done, Allen will have a better number than Hurts, and Brian Thomas Jr. will have a better number than Reed. So, and keep the guys that you got, and but if you pull the trigger, I mean, I'm still gonna cheer for you, and if you need other advice that you want to not take, I'd still be here. So I don't recommend it. Gabriel Herr, what's up, man? Hey, start 2 half PPR: Kareem Hunt, Jerome Ward, Bucky Irvin, or Trey Sermon. Okay. Bucky Irvin, I'm going to throw out right now, even though he's been playing a little more. Rachaad White had some food poisoning last week. That Atlanta defense tough. I'd throw him out. I do like Kareem Hunt. Another thing, full disclosure, I absolutely love having a guy on Monday night. I also kind of like the matchup. Kareem Hunt against a good Saints defense, but I kind of like it because Kareem Hunt I think will be used a lot more in the passing game this week. So it's a half PPR. So I think he'll get some. Monitor the situation. So first off, Irving plays tonight. I would not, and hopefully you're coming back tomorrow and you're going, well, I didn't start Irving. And then it's basically a question of, well, first off, Nick Chubb's not supposed to play this week. If he does play, move forward out. But I would go Hunt, Sermon, only if Jonathan Taylor is out. If Jonathan Taylor is playing, then you want to go Hunt and Ford. Hopefully I got that for you. Also, if you had to pick 2 of the 3, would you start Deontay Johnson, Michael Pittman, and Brian Thomas Jr., 2 of the 3? I would go Brian Thomas Jr. and Deontay Johnson. The reason why is that Anthony Richardson looks like he's going to play. If Flacco starts, you could bench either guy. Here's what I would do. If Flacco starts, I would go Pittman and Brian Thomas Jr. and then hope for a shootout in Jacksonville. Deontay Johnson against the Bears defense, it's a tough one. I get it. I would still start Johnson over Pittman just because I have no faith in Anthony Richardson right now. Yeah, Mixon is okay. So let's double check here, but I don't think he's going to play. Mixon 4 hours ago remained sidelined at practice. I really don't think he's going to play. Okay. I really don't think he wants to play. I would strongly suggest you might be able to pull off a Mixon Anthony Richardson combo, depending on your league and who you have available. Off the top of my head, I mean, could you get somebody who's not a big name but's getting production? Maybe Aaron Jones for Anthony. I mean, Anthony Richardson, Mixon together, you may be able to get somebody. I'm pretty sure Mixon's not going to play. Cam Akers, I believe, will get the start there in Houston. If you're going to tell me that he's not on the waiver wire, I will believe you. Let's see, last week 13 carries, 53. By the way, like, I loved Cam Akers coming out of college. Like, just full disclosure, I just love this kid out of college. I can't pronounce his name, but Owen Bali, who what do you have? 2 carries, 7 yards. He's probably not going to be used. He had 4 receptions for 47 yards. Are either one of these guys going to be? Are both those guys not available? I would strongly suggest you try to package Mixon and Anthony Richardson and see if you can find a running back that somebody would trade for. I don't know the specifics of your league. So I had this guy in my fantasy football league. He would just every week just send out a bunch of stupid trades. Just he thought it was funny. So even when he sent out a legit trade, I just ignored him no matter what, just because right? If you're that guy nobody wants to trade with, you may be screwed. You have to scour the waiver wire. I don't know this. I would strongly suggest that with Mixon's ability after that week 1, and some people love Anthony Richardson, I would parlay that into some sort of package trade. I would try to get because your receiving core looks pretty solid. I would try to get a running back of some sort, a solid running back number 2. I'll be honest with you. I really think that you could find somebody this week on the waiver. Let's just say you can. Okay, so the Steelers' backup running back is not playing this week. I should know this, but Warren's out. Okay. Missed practice 25 minutes ago. He's probably not going to play. By the way, I know it says Cordell Patterson didn't practice. I still got a feeling he's going to play. If you're going to tell me he's not, I'm going to believe you, okay? You might be able to trade Anthony Richardson for a dude like Cordell Patterson. Just straight up. You might be able to make a move Anthony Richardson and Mixon for You had you didn't have Jerome Ford, did you? By the way, by the way, when Chubb comes back to starting running back, you're going to hate me, but you might be able to do that. Andre, man, welcome back, brother, man. Dan, full PPR, should I flex Kareem Hunt or Christian Kirk this week? That's a tough one. That's a tough one because the Colts secondary is kind of banged up. I like the Jags matchup at home. That said, Andre, I love playing guys on Monday night. And one thing about Kareem Hunt is that I think they're going to use him a lot more in a passing game. There's a chance that Christian Kirk and Kareem Hunt have the same number of receptions. Kirk will have a lot more yards. I have a feeling Kareem Hunt's going to get like 4 to 6 catches on Monday night. So I'm going to tell you Kareem Hunt just because I got a feeling they didn't use Kareem Hunt in the passing game at all against the Chargers. But one of the things that Kareem Hunt was really good at when he was with Kansas City 6 years ago is doing the check downs. And I got a feeling that's what's going to happen because the Saints linebacking core, I should know this, D'Amico. I'm so embarrassed. This is one of my all-time favorite players. D'Amico Davis. I can't believe I'm forgetting it. I'm so embarrassed. Demario Davis. Jesus Christ. I'm such a God. Okay, so Demario Davis didn't play last week. He's been injured. Willie Gay played a long time with Kansas City. He is banged up as well. And so you have your linebacker unit. You have a banged up linebacker unit. Well, they're going to ignore Travis Kelce for how long? I mean, it's Travis Kelce, so you know that the Saints are going to pay attention to Travis Kelce. You have Xavier Worthy, the home run threat. You watch early on, they'll throw a deep ball to Worthy, even if they overthrow him. That's going to open up the middle of the field, and that's something that Rashid Rice has been eating on. But guess what? He's gone. So that's kind of why I like Kareem Hunt quite a bit. So Christian Kirk's not a bad option if you say, hey, Dan, I'm not going to listen to you. And even though your hair is amazing, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go Christian Kirk. I'm going to pull for you. But I got a feeling in a full PPR, you're going to like Kareem Hunt. John, what's up, brother? Need 2 PPR, Ford, Bucky, Chase Brown, Charbs, or Rico? Ooh, oh, God. All right. So this week, Ford may be your best option out of all of these. When Chubb comes back, everything's going to change. Okay. I'm drawing a blank on that. Yeah. I think Ford's probably your best option. Leaning against Bucky Brooks this week. Chase Brown's interesting. Here's the issue with Charbonnet is that I really think if Kenneth Walker's good to go, and I believe he is, they're just not going to use him that much. And let's just take a look here. Kenneth Walker, not even on the injury report. So let's roll out Charbonnet. Rico Dowdle is a guy I firmly believe is going to be kind of phased out, but he proves me wrong. But let's be honest, that matchup in Pittsburgh is a tough one. Okay. I would go in this situation, I would go with Ford and I'd go Chase Brown. I'll be honest, I like Zach Moss better, but Chase Brown got a couple touchdowns last week. Faster guy. One thing about when I remember week 1, what the Chiefs did is they loved isolating either a running back or receiver on Trenton Simpson and Roquan Smith, and they just ate. And that could be the situation. Chase Brown could have a monster game. I think Ford would be option number 1. I would lean against Bucky Brooks. By the way, if he has a good game against Tampa, you can feel free to come back here and say, why did you, I get it. I think Rachaad White's going to be the main guy tonight. I really do. Charbonnet, I'm leaning against as long as Walker's healthy, and Rico Dowdle. I recommended against him last week and he got a touchdown. Good luck against Pittsburgh. So I would go Ford and Chase Brown. Good. Hey, John, hey, man, great hearing from your brother. So, yeah. Should I trade Jordan Mason and Justin Fields for Jamar Chase? Original dirtbag. What a cool name. All right, so I'm guessing I need a little more information before I tell you absolutely yes. But one thing let me argue against it first. Mason is going to be the starting running back probably till December for San Francisco, and it's a high-powered offense. So, I mean, Jordan Mason, I think, is a low-end one. More than likely, he's a running back, too. So, I mean, this is a guy you're probably starting, okay? Justin Fields, the more he starts, the better he gets. And there's talent on that team. You got some good weapons. Pickens, Freiermuth, Najee Harris. They got some good receiving backs. And he also offers a lot of value as a runner, too. Jamar Chase, there's probably not 5 receivers in fantasy football I would take over Jamar Chase. There's probably not. The only 3 I can say would be, it's kind of funny because I'm looking at Noah's comment. So here's the drill. Unless you're Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, or Amon-Ra, and I can make a case that Chase could be just as good as Amon-Ra. Like, I can make that argument. I like Amon-Ra better, but I need a little more information before I give you an overwhelming yes. I'm assuming Justin Fields is your backup quarterback. I'm assuming Jordan Mason is not your best running back. So those are the only things I'm assuming. If you don't mind, let me know that, because I mean, if you're giving up a starting quarterback and a running back, I might lean against it. But just straight up, I would do that, because Jamar Chase in a standard PPR league, like that's a guy that could. I mean, that's a guy. I think every single week Jamar Chase can get you 100 and a touchdown. I just think he's going to explode. No, oh man, bad news. Trade got vetoed, but I ended up getting Drake London and Drake McBride, so I have a stack. You are right. Keep an eye out on McBride. I think he is going to play. So, and so I have a stack tight end room and a wide receiver room. Still going to make a move for Jefferson or Nico. Nico Collins is solid, so I'm sorry you got messed up for that. Are you starting Drake London tonight? Just out of curiosity. I don't think you are, if I remember everything. But yeah, God, that was. Oh God, yeah. It's inevitable. I've been predicting this for a while. So it's really just a matter of time, and it all comes back to the draft. The Raiders tried really hard to get a quarterback, and it didn't work out. They tried to get a quarterback. They tried to trade up to number 2. They really wanted Jaden Daniels. I forgot this until I read the article, but Antonio Pierce coached Jaden Daniels at Arizona State. I honestly forgot about that connection. So, but yeah, it's inevitable. I predicted this. Kind of a bad situation, because I think Adams is I know he played at Fresno State, but I think he's from Vegas. It's a wonderful place to be. So yeah, it's inevitable. So what do you think about the Panthers-Bears game? It's interesting. Do check out my weekly picks video, but I'll ruin it for you. Please watch it, Jason. I put a lot of time into it. It's also a great video. It's a great video. And if you don't like it, let me know what you would change in it. So what I've been doing this year for my picks videos, I don't give out a lot of information because I want to keep I just want to keep, breaking down the games live. I do work a full-time job. If I didn't, I would like to do more one-on-one videos breaking down the games into a lot more detail, but I'm not able to do that. I do have an upset with the Panthers winning. And the reason why is that I just think Caleb Williams is just so far just a complete disaster. And I don't think they're using him right. I love Andy Dalton in this offense. And even though they didn't play overly well, I like the improvement of the defense. I think they got some players. I love the defensive coach. So I think this could be a low scoring game, but I like Andy Dalton a lot more than I like Caleb Williams. I like the changes that they're going to make on offense. And, it's a shame because I look at the Bears defense and I'm like, man, that's a team that has a defense that can do some damage if they get to the playoffs or they fix their offense. I don't have any faith in Caleb Williams. Maybe down the line. But, it's an upset pick. It's an upset pick. Sorry. ETN better suit up against the Colts. So yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like this is the week ETN could just blow up. I keep saying the same thing. He's a 3-down back with speed. One thing about the Colts front seven is it's a fast unit, but they're undersized. Jacksonville doesn't win today. Like you could see Peterson fired. I mean, Anthony Richardson's banged up. I think it's so obvious that the Colts should start Flacco. It just makes all the sense in the world, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I do agree. I mean, like the Jacksonville's whole offense should be going like this the week that we blow up. There's so much talent on that offense. There's no reason it should be this bad. There's so much talent. There's so many good players. Yeah, you're right. ETN, I can make the case for Christian Kirk. I can make the case for Brian Thomas Jr. They got some guys. This is interesting. I saw an image where the odds for MVP are best for Daniels. We think Jaden Daniels for MVP. Okay, so first off, MVP numbers just keep fluctuating all around. I don't. By the way, like if he has a great game against a good Browns defense, I would lean towards it. Keep in mind you're 3-1. You're winning the NFC East, which nobody saw happening. He's also putting up highlight reel plays like every single week. If he continues to do that for 13 more weeks, sure. Yeah, let's have some fun. A rookie quarterback is MVP. Why not? Let's have some fun. Let's do it. When's the last time a rookie quarterback has won MVP? Caesar, I don't know how old you are. First couple of weeks of the season, Cam Newton, people talked about that. Andrew Luck, CJ Stroud. Didn't even come close. CJ Stroud, I think, may have came the closest. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if he got any votes for MVP. I predicted Jaden Daniels would win Rookie of the Year. I have a NFC East video if you want to dive in. And by the way, I need to change and update some things on my YouTube channel. So like when you click on my YouTube channel, you can I have some older videos I have there. But anyway, I put down Jaden Daniels Rookie of the Year. This was back in August. MVP. Does it for another 12 weeks? Sure, why not? Happening today. And this is the Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts trade that was Brian Thomas Jr. and I forget the other guy, but yeah, Andre. I agree with Andre. So the lineup is now Stroud, A-Chain, Mason, CD, Amon-Ra, Drake London, Etienne Ferguson, and McBride. Keep an eye out on McBride. I think he's going to play. He is questionable. Good luck with London tonight. I'm not a big fan of the Atlanta offense, but I mean, the rest of your team's really good. Another thing is A-Chain. They're like, if Mozart plays, A-Chain's touches will drop, but I mean, it's a solid team. Solid team, brother. Need a flex, JSN or Sutton? That's a good one. That is a really good one. So I full disclosure, I picked full disclosure, I picked the Giants over Seattle. Raiders defense is pretty good. I mean, 50 yards passing and a half. Or was it the whole game? I mean, I'm leaning towards Jackson Smith. Here's the thing. I could really see a situation where the Raiders say, you know what? We're just going to put 7 or 8 in the box this week. Bo Nix has to beat us. Period. Bo Nix is going to beat us. We have this great defensive line. We're going to force you. And I could see Sutton getting a touchdown. I really, really see that. I really see that happening. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Sutton has a good game. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. And by the way, this could still be a 16-10 game. And Sutton has, 90 yards and a touchdown, 110 and a touchdown. This could happen. Okay. And the Giants front 7 is really good. Secondary is a little questionable. The offense likes to run more with a healthy Kenneth Walker. I would go with Jackson Smith and Jigba, but it would. I wish I could give you a better answer because I'm gonna level with you. I think it's Jackson Smith and Jigba. It would not surprise me one bit if Sutton has a really, really good game. But I would go with Jason. Perry! Now I was just talking about you, brother. Carson fumbled like first or second time he had the ball. And the Chiefs give him another chance, and he runs hard, but no, he's not. He's not hurt. He's going to be replaced, though. He's going to be replaced. So that's just kind of the way we are in the world today. So. Looking to drop Hopkins. Would I suggest you go Coleman, Leggett. Go Leggett. If you're Riggs, by the way, great to see you. I don't recognize the name because it's a cool name. So you haven't subscribed. Leggett is already getting a lot of targets and he's already catching passes from the way the offense is built. He's just going to keep getting to Leggett easily is the guy here. The only thing I could see maybe changing if Flacco ends up being the starting quarterback with the Colts, then I could see Downs being a viable option. I like Wicks, don't get me wrong, but Leggett's the answer because here's the deal. It's really just a matter of time before Leggett becomes the number one guy in Carolina. And now that Andy Dalton's there, he's really just gonna kind of force feed the guy. And he's got so much. Leggett's one of these guys that a couple of years from now, it would not surprise me if we're going, how did Leggett last to the bottom of the first round? This could be just. Yeah, if you're going to drop Hopkins, and I'm not so sure you should, I want to be very clear. I'm not sure you should drop Hopkins. I don't blame you. I will say this: my buddy Denver Gator loves Will Levis. That's his favorite guy in the whole world. I think it's a matter of time they bench him, and if Mason Rudolph takes over, I could see the potential. Another thing, Hopkins could get traded. And if he does get traded, his production is probably going to go up. But let's just say hey, look, you hate the guy, whatever. Leggett's the guy you want to target. Hector Solanas, what's up, brother? Solanas. Hopefully I got the name right. Zach Moss versus Ravens or Bucky versus the Falcons. I really like Zach Moss quite a bit. And one thing is that I've watched Baltimore's defense. It's not the same unit. Now, keep in mind, they lost a lot of their coaching staff. They lost a lot of players, too. I think a lot of people are just assuming because it's Baltimore, they have to have this great defense. I really don't see it. Bucky Irving got a lot of touches last week. Rachaad White had food poisoning. If you ever had food poisoning, you know it's just tough, man. And there's different levels of food poisoning too. I'm one of these guys that I'll eat some bad fast food and I'll throw up and I'll feel better 30 minutes later. I've also had food poisoning where I was in bed bathroom for 2 to 3 days straight. Normally, it's a short-term thing, and you come back and you're the main guy. I think Rachaad White's going to get the majority of the touches. This is a really good secondary. I'm assuming you're in a PPR league. Is that what this? Okay, no. But out of these two, Zach Moss or Kareem Hunt or Bucky. Kareem Hunt, I think, is going to have a monster game, but I also like Zach Moss quite a bit. I do think Zach Moss is going to be the main guy. It's a debate between him and Chase Brown. Zach Moss is a bigger dude. You have some offensive line issues that they have to fix out in Cincinnati, but Moss is a 3-down guy that they really like. But I'll be honest with you. I got a feeling. Now, keep in mind, Hector, I am a long time Chiefs fan. Okay, I've been a Chiefs fan for a very long time. This week, I would go with Kareem Hunt, but if I would eliminate Bucky from this conversation. And by the way, if you choose Bucky, I hope that he has a good game. But Yeah, I would go with Kareem Hunt. Another thing, and I've said this probably 9 times already, I love playing a guy on Monday night. Love playing a guy on Monday night. Hey, Dan, I'll divide my question into messages. My running backs are Hall, Kamara, Ford, Dobbins, Hunt, Chubb. God, what a great lineup. What a great lineup. You got 6 stud running backs. 6 stud running backs. Wide receivers, London, Neighbors, Godwin, Pittman, Deontay Johnson, and tight end Bowers and Hawkinson. Man, that's a great lineup. AK, I hope that you stay in touch and brag about your winnings because you're going to do well. Okay, someone in my league wants Chubb. Would you trade him for Jonathan Taylor or Connor? And also, okay. Okay, someone in my league wants Chubb, but would you trade him for Taylor or Connor and also Lamb, but he wants another player? Okay. Let me see if I can get this right because I think I'm missing something. You can get CD Lamb. Because I'm looking at your lineup and you got all these really stud running backs, and you got all these really good running backs. Okay, if you can add CD Lamb, you want to make the move. But you said Chubb, and then you said Taylor and Connor. So I'm like, did I miss something? Because because I'll be honest with you, I would package Chubb and one of your receivers. I'm specifically kind of looking at London or Godwin and trade Chubb, London, or Godwin for Lamb straight up, and I wouldn't even think twice about it. Taylor or Connor. So I'm missing something because it sounds like you're getting Taylor or Connor and CD Lamb in return for Chubb and something. Okay. I would almost give him Chubb and see if he wants London or Godwin and get CD Lamb. I mean, listen, the way your team is built, you get CD Lamb and you're going to be in really great shape. You're going to be pretty much unstoppable because you got some fantastic running backs. So adding Lamb to this team is amazing. Getting rid of Chubb, I wouldn't think twice about it. As much as I love Chubb, he's probably not playing this week. He might play next week, but you saw some questions. Don't get me wrong, with the offensive line coming back, if Chubb's the same type of running back, you're going to hate me for getting rid of him, but you got some really good players. You got Hall, you got Kamara, Dobbins as long as he's healthy. Kareem Hunt's just going up. Get CD Lamb. But you say Taylor or Connor and also Lamb, but he wants another player. Well, it sounds like can you do this here? Ask Chubb for Lamb. What else does he want? Let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. Chubb for Lamb, and he's going to want something else. Then I would fire with London or Godwin. That's what I would do. But it sounds like what he wants to do is he wants to trade running back By the way, I need a little more information here, but it sounds like what he wants to do is running back for running back, receiver for receiver. And it sounds like what he probably wants, I'm guessing he probably wants Neighbors for Lamb. And I'm spitballing. It sounds like that's kind of trade he wants. I need a little more info. Chubb, can Chubb for Lamb and then figure out what he wants with Chubb. My guess is he wants another receiver and get rid of you could get rid of anybody. I would get rid of anybody except Neighbors, to tell you the truth, for CD Lamb. So Perry, Washington's favored. I picked Cleveland. Perry, by the way, please check out my week 5 video if you haven't already. Let me know what you think of it. I do like Cleveland, but if Washington does win, it's going to be because of their defense shutting out a Cleveland offense, which has been terrible, and then Washington just making enough plays. I mean, if Washington wins this game, I do like Cleveland because I think the matchup really favors Cleveland. I mean, this defense is really good. It's just a question. If Washington can start winning low scoring games, like, and I mean running the ball. When I say running the ball, not having Jaden Daniels run the ball, like Brian Robinson running the ball. Austin Eckler's out, so Brian Robinson having a big game against a good Browns defense. The Washington Commanders defense making plays against a struggling offense. Yeah. And by the way, if Washington defense did a phenomenal job against Kyler Murray, I'm going to assume it's because of the offensive line injuries in Arizona. But let's just say that for whatever reason, Washington's defense is playing really well. And that's why they shut the Cardinals down to 14, and they do a good job. The NFL's in a lot of trouble because, if nothing else, Jaden Daniels has proved that he can make plays. The stage isn't too big, and it could be a fun time for the NFL. Well, we'll see. Washington's favored, but I've been watching football for a long time. I mean, I like Cleveland. This is a good matchup for Cleveland. You're a defense. You have the better defense. You really need a win. And I'll level with you. Like, they've had some fantastic wins, and but I mean, I'm not all in on Washington yet. So, but Washington's favored, man. It's going to be fun. Andre, man, I'm so glad you found me. I look forward to seeing you in the chat every day. I might actually do Fantasy Football Friday. I'm toying around with it. I've just had so much fun, and it's been great. Your questions are fantastic. Not only that, I feel like we're working together to help you win. I hope to hear from you Monday. Just like, hey, I got the crown on your head, winning. Dan, how these receivers: start 1, flex 1. London, JSN, Addison, Jalen Reed also have Neighbors, but I'm not sure he's playing automatic start if he does it. Yeah, you're right. Okay. The troll Neighbors out. Here's your problem. You have to figure out if you start London or not. That's your problem, because London's a start tonight. I don't. Here's the deal. Tampa's got some holes on defense, specifically in the secondary. I have no faith in Atlanta's offense, but it's a very viable. I'll be honest. So here's my situation. I would start London over Reed, but I like Addison quite a bit. JSN's interesting. All right. So here's your issue. Neighbors is the automatic start. The question, in my opinion, is JSN or Addison, and it's the, do you like chocolate or do you like strawberry? I would lean towards JSN barely. Look, you're at home. That Giants front seven, I don't think Seattle. I think Seattle could have legitimate problems running the ball, and I do think they're going to try to force feed Kenneth Walker early. Then they'll use him in the passing game. But I think sooner or later, I mean, JSN and Addison are both going to get touches, and I feel good about that. If this could be the week Atlanta dials it all up on offense, plus there's some injuries in the Bucs secondary, if you're Atlanta, you don't want to go 2-3 and have the Bucs go 4-1. So this could be a situation where you finally, why they haven't done this before, but like just throw some jump balls to Drake London. That would be a good idea, but I would not consider Reed. I wish I could tell you Drake London, but I have no confidence in Atlanta. Look, you got two offenses in Minnesota and Seattle that are playing well. The issue with Seattle is that you have a defense that their whole defensive line is out. That's kind of why I think JSN's okay. I understand making a big stretch. Bear with me. When your defense is bad, look at what Detroit did. So that means you got to play in a shootout. Well, you're not going to run the ball in a shootout. That's what they did last week. And their defense is too good. I like JSN. I really do. The Jets defense is really, really, really good. I mean, but Sam Darnold's playing well. London's weird. So JSN's your answer as far as I'm concerned. Neighbors, automatic. Look, since you're holding out on Neighbors, the big question is, do you want to go with London on Thursday night? And then if Neighbors can't go, I would go JSN. If you want to roll dice with London, I wouldn't be mad. I really, 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 really wouldn't be mad at you. I mean, this could be, hey, look, you got banged up secondary. You need the win. Maybe you just force feed them. Maybe this is the game where you say, hey, look, Drake London's getting 12 targets. And if we're anywhere near the red zone, we're just going to throw him some jump balls and just say, go. We're just going to say, go for it. Maybe this is the week. I have no to be honest with you, Addison has the best offensive scheme. I don't like the London game, and I don't like the Jets. So that's my logic with JSN. If you want to go with London and Neighbors, I wouldn't be mad at you one bit. If that's what you do, I'll pull for you and hope London has a good game. I mean, what I'm worried about is you come on tomorrow and like, Dan, I didn't play London. I listened to you. You had 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. I hate you. It could happen. I don't think so. So, my opinion, JSN and Neighbors. I think Neighbors will play. I feel really good about Neighbors playing. Matter of fact, let's take a look. Again, I want to emphasize I'm using ESPN, but I'm not really big on it. Okay, 5 hours ago per ESPN, Neighbors concussion won't practice Thursday, and head coach Brian Daboll did not express optimism about the receiver's chances of playing Sunday against Seahawks. Ron Dunleavy of the New York Post reveals. All right, sounds bad. Okay, I think he's going to play. All right, I think he's going to play. The concussion, I'm not a neuroscientist. I've watched enough football to know, because after the game, he was like, he seemed like he was in pretty good shape. He seemed like he was in pretty good shape. All right. 2 hours ago, Wendell Robinson, heel practice in a limited capacity. That means he's going to play. Okay. I can't prove this. I could be wrong. I feel good about Neighbors. Keep an eye out. If you don't have Neighbors, go with JSN. If you want to start London, if you want to start London tonight and just, hey, look, I need to know what I'm going into Sunday, I would not blame you one bit, because how you approach Sunday's game might be, hey, if London has 4 catches, 30 yards, I might need to be more aggressive. Whereas if London has a big game, who has the highest floor? Out of all these guys, the guy who's probably has the highest ceiling, to be honest with you, is Jaden Reed. And that might be your go-to. You may just want to say, hey, you know what? Jaden Reed out of all these guys has the lowest floor, highest ceiling. I think JSN is probably your highest floor, to be honest with you, because I do think he's going to have some productivity. Addison against a tough Jets team in London, you have no idea what's going to happen. You really, really, really don't. But if you want to go with London tonight, good. I think Neighbors will play. I really do. Okay, guys, I was so happy. Stand by. I'm going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll get back with hour 3 of Afternoon Delight. Stay tuned. My award-winning NFL Weekly Picks video is out. Now, don't watch it right now. This is just a small commercial break as I'm using the bathroom. More than likely, I'm fixing my hair. But make sure you do check it out. It's fantastic. As Afternoon Delight takes a commercial break, we remind you that BetUS is a proud affiliate. The video in the description below shows how easy and fast it is to collect your bonus. Click on the link in the description below and start winning today. Yes! Hour 3, the final hour of Afternoon Delight, but don't worry, I'm going to answer every single question before I get off the air. Worst case scenario, I am on for I'm on tomorrow for 3 hours. And now keep in mind, I don't call it Fantasy Football Friday, but you can ask any and all fantasy questions. You can also shoot me an email, Dan talksfootball@yahoo.com, or just DM me, or you can drop a comment. Keep in mind, after the show tonight, I'm going to be unavailable till after I finish Thursday Night Football. Depending on what part of the country you're in, most likely it'll be Friday morning before I get back to you, but I will get back to you Friday morning or afternoon, and then 3 hours of Afternoon Delight tomorrow. There is a good possibility I'm going to change Friday to Fantasy Football Friday as well, just because I've had so much fun answering these questions. I feel like I'm helping you guys win your fantasy football lineups. So that's kind of where I'm at. Denver Gator says, like and subscribe, fools. Rhinos Roundtable. I'm really glad that you're not mad at me. Putting that start Flacco. He's a Colts fan, by the way. A little love for Denver Gator. Fields or Darnold this week? That's a great question. I love playing guys late games, Sunday versus here in Vegas, they start the game at like 3 a.m. It's stupid. I hate it. Darnold against the Jets defense in London, you have no idea what to expect. I do expect Dallas's defense to start playing better. They played really well against the Giants. I have no faith in Daniel Jones, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to level with you. This is a real tough one for me because I could see a situation where Darnold plays well, but I mean, that Jets defense has just played really well the last couple of weeks. I'm going with Justin Fields. I think the more he plays, the better he gets. I like him at home in a primetime game. I like the Steelers off of a loss. That said, if you watch my picks video, I did pick Dallas, like full disclosure, but I do think Justin Fields will make some plays and get some points for you this week. I don't think you're making a bad move either way. Search and kill. What a cool name. I need tight end Cody Parkinson, Tyreek Hill, or Kyle Pitts. You have a choice of picking one of these three. Not sure. Hold on, because you're talking tight ends. Taysom Hill or Tyreek Hill? Pitts has immense upside. I like Taysom Hill listen, I'm assuming you get standard points if he throws the ball at all, and then you're getting standard points running. You got three answers. I honestly think it's Hill or Pitts. I hate the way Atlanta is using everything. So I would lean towards Taysom Hill, and that's what I think that you're referring to, not Tyreek Hill. Another thing, I've said this over and over again, I love playing guys on Monday night, and Taysom Hill I could see being used in a variety of ways, because you're playing against Kansas City. Usually teams, listen, the Saints are in a situation where they either have to play Tampa Bay. They're in a situation, Tampa Bay, whoever wins is going to have a leg up, right? The Falcons just beat you, so if they win again, they're 3-2. They're now all of a sudden the number one team in the NFC South, because they hold the tiebreaker over the 3-2 Bucks. The Bucks win, they're 4-1. You're playing against the world champion Chiefs, so even if you win, you're still one game behind. So I can see a situation where Taysom Hill has a big part in this offense, because you kind of got to bring out the all stops against Kansas City. Leaning towards Taysom Hill in this. Again, no tight end has more potential than Kyle Pitts. Why they're not using him in Atlanta, I have no clue. Hopefully you just heard me rant about this may be the week they throw, 12 to 10 to 15 targets to Drake London. Maybe this is the week you say, hey, look, Kyle Pitts, we're just going to open it up and figure it out. I don't think they will. So I would lean towards Taysom Hill. Yeah, I've been loving it. I love it. You may have you can go with Parkinson too. He would be the last guy. I like the matchup against Green Bay though. Slasher, what's up, brother? Man, God, see Slasher. Thoughts on offering Nico Collins and Brandon Aubrey for Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jake Moody PPR league? I want to lean for it. Mr. Grapefruit, man, this looks like I recognized you in chat yesterday, and I used the same analogy where it's what's your favorite flavor? Is it chocolate or strawberry? And that's kind of what you're looking at with Nico Collins and Amon-Ra. I'm going to level with you though. In a PPR league, I do think Amon-Ra has a little more value. Collins is going to have more yards. Amon-Ra is going to have more receptions. I think Collins may have more touchdowns. Aubrey, Moody, both are solid. I don't think you're really winning one over the other. If I'm being really honest, I mean, I can make an argument for both. I really, really could. I can sit here and break it down. I know Nico looks like a first rounder when his value when Tank L gets going. So here's the drill. Here's what I think will happen is that I think you'll have Diggs, who's going to get. I think I have the big game against his old team. I think his production is going to drop off, and I think that you're going to have a trade off where Tank Dell will start going up, Diggs will start going down, but Nico's always going to be the number one guy, right? I was a little surprised week 1 where Joe Mixon had 32 carries. Now, of course, he's banged up, but when he comes back, are they going to start running the ball more? I keep thinking Detroit should run the ball more, but they don't. So I would not blame you for doing this. Slasher says Aubrey is better than Mooney, Mr. Grapefruit. Try to get an extra bench player off of him. That's an interesting philosophy. I'll be honest, I can argue that both ways. All right, so the trade as is, I like a little towards Amon-Ra. So I'm like 90% sure. Yeah, I was 90% sure Moody's the 49ers kicker. Aubrey's the Cowboys kicker, right? Right? I'm pretty sure about that. Cowboys kicker. Yeah. All right. You're going to get points both ways. You really are. There's Slasher will swear up and down Aubrey's better than Moody. I really don't think that I really don't think you're getting one significantly better than the other. Amon-Ra, I think, has a little more value than Nico Collins, but I mean, if you want to like follow this advice and just try to get a little more value, because this is what Slasher says. So the guy I work with, so I wouldn't, but he told me he liked Nico's output. Okay. This I want to warn you about. All right. I had a coworker who every single week would send me all these stupid trades. It never affected our work relationship. But when he did try to make a legit trade towards me, I ignored him completely. And everybody else felt the same way. When it comes to fantasy football, this is just my advice and my opinion: play to win. I'm going to tell you why. If that guy beats you in fantasy football because you are trying to be fair, you're going to resent that mother. I'm going to try to keep PG. I'm not going to use any profanity, but you know what I'm saying. No, you want to be the winner. I want you to win. You're going to feel much better. And by the way, since you said you want to be fair, here's what I suggest. You win, and then you be gracious about it. You be cool to him. Like, hey, you won fantasy football. Okay, I'm drinking an energy drink. I'm hooked on these things. Maybe he drinks energy drinks. Hey, man, I won my fantasy league. I bought you, hey, I won, whatever it is. Maybe you won $100. Maybe it's $20. I mean, most people, league could be, I don't know if you're in maybe it's a free league. Maybe it's $10 to get in. Maybe it's $100 to get in. It's on my business. You can share if you want. Hey, you won in fantasy football. Hey, you know what? For everybody that I work with that we're in a league together, I'm buying everybody donuts or whatever. Do that with the winnings. But screw that dude. No, do everything you can to win your league. Slasher says that's definitely fair. Screw being fair. I want you to win. And then when you win graciously. Because if that guy beats you in fantasy football because you eased up on him, you're going to hate yourself. And I'm not going to hate you because I'm glad you're sitting here, you're talking to me. But I'm going to be like, no. So let's throw this being fair stuff out the window. I want you to win. Okay. Can you nickel and dime and get an extra bench player. If that's possible, let's see what you can do it. I like this move. You're not winning. Can you negotiate and do something better? Can you make this argument that Slasher's saying? Slasher has a good point. Matter of fact, I would fire back with what Slasher's saying and go, hey, you know what? Aubrey can get 20 on a consistent basis. Moody, I don't know. Remember, he had those misses, and I'm not so sure. San Francisco is like, it's not indoors, and they have to play in Seattle where it rains all the time. If you can do that, if your only argument is that you want to be fair, no. Let's get you winning. And then after you win graciously. Don't be the guy who's gloating. Don't be that guy. Win graciously. Buy the guy a Coke or an energy drink or some donuts. McDonald's or whatever with his money that he paid you when you win your fantasy football league. Am I advising you to screw people over so that you win your league? If you can get away with it, yes. I want you to win. I don't want you to try to make the other guy feel good. That's on him. I never recommend, don't be one of these guys who wins and gloat about it and be a jerk, because that just hurts you in trying to make trades. But if you can get more than you should, do it. Let's win. Then be gracious afterwards. Buy the guy a Coke. Buy him an energy drink. Buy him some donuts after you win. Use the money that he gave you and kick him back a little bit. Hey man, hey, I won. I won this extra money here. I know you like blah blah blah. Don't by the way, if you win the trade and that trade helps get you a championship, don't go, hey, because I won the trade, I'm giving. No, don't do that. Just say, hey man, I won fantasy league. I started share. And don't just buy him unless I don't know your situation. Like I was in a fantasy football league at work. I worked with different shifts, but there was a few guys I sat next to that I was in a league with. If this is the guy that sits right next to you, maybe he's your cube mate, or I don't know what kind of work environment you work in, but let's just say the guy's your cube mate or whatever. Buy him something, but win the trade. This as is, I don't think it's a massive victory, but Slasher is right. If you can make this argument and it works and you can get more, do it. If he fires back and says, no, I want to do this. So, and by the way, you're offering this, right? Can you get more? And by the way, I implore you for having some morals and everything. What I would like to do, if it's okay with you, and by the way, last thing I want to do is tell you how to behave. I want to throw something out that I want you to be good to the guy after you win. I don't want you to make a trade and worry about gouging him. But don't be that guy. Like my buddy used to send all sorts of stupid trades to everybody, and he just thought it was funny. Like he'd send his backup receiver and ask for CD Lamb or something. He would do that every week to everybody. And it got to the point where when I saw his name, I just deleted the message. I didn't even read it. And then a couple weeks after doing this he did it to everybody in the league. A couple weeks, he's like, why did you ignore my trade? And I was like, I ignore all your trades. He's like, no, this is a for real one. I was like, I don't care. But can you get more? Then yeah. But I think, by the way, if he likes Nico, what would he want? What would he give up? But you may be able to do this. All right, sorry about the rant, but by the way, I'm not against this trade. I do think you're winning, but I think you're winning by a little bit. So let me know, brother. Let me know. My goal is that I want to help you win, and then be nice to the guy afterwards. But let me know what I can do to help. But I think it's a decent trade. I don't think you're winning by a landslide, and I think Slasher has a good point. So sorry about the rant. Should I trade JMO and Justin Hills for Ayuk? I have Higgins, AJ, Tutu, and I have Kamara, Henry, Chubb. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me ask you this, Jordan. Is this a trade offer that you got, or is this something you're just kind of going through in your head? Number one, I mean, AJ Brown, when he comes back, is going to be a monster. But I'm not sold on Tutu Atwell, and Higgins is a guy that I think they're phasing out. So, and knock on wood, Chubb is coming back healthy. But if this is a trade offer that you got, 100% get it, because when A.J. Brown comes back, now you got A.J. Brown. Brandon Ayuk's production is just going to go up. So it's like, I'm looking at your lineup. You could really use Ayuk. That this would be a win for you. I would strongly recommend you make this trade. You're getting Ayuk. I want to be clear. Yeah. It says, should you offer? Yeah, if you got offered this trade, take it now. I can get Lamb, but he wants Chubb and someone more, and Taylor or Connor is straight up for Chubb. Okay. Hold on. Let me see if I get this right. So he's willing to give you. Shoot. I'm sorry, I lost her. I lost your running backs here. Okay. So you can get somebody for Chubb. Okay. All right. So you can get straight up. Okay. Taylor. Okay. So you can get Connor or Jonathan Taylor straight up for Chubb. All right. But you can get Lamb, but he wants Chubb and someone more. I got you. I got it. Can you lowball him with any receiver besides Neighbor? Let me throw this out at you. Can you get Jonathan Taylor for Chubb and Neighbors? And I know this kind of defeats it because you're giving up a number one. Lamb's going to get you more production than Neighbors. All right. As much as I love Neighbors, Lamb's going to get you more. Let's be honest. Jonathan Taylor, even if he misses some time, when he gets healthy, he's younger. He's just as good. Now, keep in mind, I have a huge man crush on Nick Chubb. It's a little crazy, but this might be fantastic for you. Spitballing. If you can get, let me ask you this here. Would he consider Lamb for Chubb and one of your lesser receivers? And it sounds like he would. Throw that out. If he says no, ask him if he would take Taylor and Lamb for Chubb and Neighbors. He might pull the trigger on that, and you just upgrade it. But I really kind of want you to keep Neighbors. Throw out Chubb and throw out one of your number two receivers. I want to make sure I get all the questions answered. I'm not. AK, you've been in the chat. I want to help you out, so I don't want you to feel like I'm ignoring your question. I just want to make sure I get everybody because I'm a half an hour behind. Wow, my comments. Okay. See, one of the receivers that you talked about that's not Neighbors, and if you have to, Neighbors and Chubb for Taylor and Lamb. Who would you package Chubb and JMO for? I have Kamara, Mason, Henry, and receivers. I have AJ Higgins. Okay, so I'm not a fan of Tutu Atwell. And by the way, with Cup and Puka coming back, you're going to see less and less. So, but I have a hard time picturing you trading Chubb and JMO for one of those guys. So you'll probably have to give up. Could you give up? I really want you to keep AJ Brown quite a bit. So like you may be able to move on from Higgins and Tutu. If you want JMO, I really don't want you to give up one of those running backs. I really want you to keep all three of those guys. In your situation, I really want you to keep AJ Brown, Higgins, and Tutu. I'd love for you to move on from, but there's almost no chance the guy's going to go Higgins and Tutu for Chubb and JMO. If he does, you got a good chance. You're in good shape. I hate to say this, the Joker, Brock Purdy is your guy. You're at home. Cardinals defense looks really beat up. Baker Mayfield's going against an excellent secondary. So, and he's got some injuries on the offensive lines. So I think Brock Purdy here. Jaden Daniels for Joe Burrow, Gaming City Power. Welcome, man. I'm glad to see you back. This is really good. Do this. No on this. There's a lot of excitement. No, you want to stick with Burrow for right. Just stick with Burrow. I get the excitement. I wouldn't be mad at you if you do this. Don't do it. Joe Burrow, I got a feeling over the next couple of weeks there's gonna be some argument about him being you watch. And about 4 weeks from now, we're going to talk about Burrow being MVP. The hype on Daniels will come back now. Don't do this. My suggestion. By the way, if you do it, I get it. I understand, but don't. Who do I start wide receiver number 2 next to Olave, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, Jacoby Myers, Khalil Shakir? Oh, God, that's a great question, Youngstar 210. I'm leaning. I really wish I could tell you Jacoby Myers because you're playing that banged up Miami team. The defense isn't that good, and I think if you're New England, you really want to get a win. And I'm so sorry. He's a former Patriots with the Raiders now. Shit. I'm so sorry about that. I'm embarrassed. Okay. Jordan Addison's a good matchup against normally would be a good matchup, but your London Jets. I would really go with Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I talked about this earlier. Shakir is kind of interesting. I can't believe I forgot. It's kind of interesting because I think that I if you watch my video, I called a high scoring game. Buffalo at Houston. I could see a situation, even though both teams have good defenses. I got a feeling it's going to be a high scoring game. I could see this being a situation where Shakir gets a touchdown. I would go with Jackson Smith and Jigba. I really would. I really think the way that Giants Seahawks game is going to go is that I really think the Giants are their front seven's really going to win that battle. I don't think Seattle's going to be able to run the ball, and even though Seattle threw the ball quite well, I think the Giants are going to go into that game saying, you're not going to run against us, just you're going to have to throw, and I think in that situation, Smith and Jigba is going to have a good game. So that I'll be honest with you. If you went Addison, that would make sense. I can make an argument for Shakur. I can also make an argument, even though I drew up brain freeze and now he's with the Raiders. I'm embarrassed about that. But yeah, I would go Jackson Smith and Jigba. And by the way, I like Olave primetime game against Kansas City, even though I love the Chiefs defense. I'm kind of I kind of think he's going to have a game. I mean, hopefully, as a Chiefs fan, he's not going for like 150 and 2 touchdowns, but I think he's going to. I don't think the Chiefs are just going to isolate McDuffie on him which, by the way, if McDuffie follows Olave the whole game, and I don't think that's going to happen, Olave could be in for a rough game, but I don't think you're going to see that because you have enough pressure with Shaheed that you'll see McDuffie kind of switch around. That's just the same Chiefs. That's just the defense way. So I'm sorry, man. I got behind on the comments here. I'm sorry, brother. Otten Conklin IR. I think Taysom Hill is going to play, and I think they'll use him in a lot of different ways. So, CZ Drew, what's up, brother, man? Hey, I'm sorry I'm behind, man. I'm sorry I'm behind, guys. I'm doing my best. Sorry. Dan Talks Football. You start wide receiver number 2. Okay, no, I got you. Pitts. I'm behind on comments. I'm going to star this because if I get a chance, I want to talk to this. But and if I'm Atlanta, I would 100% trade him because he has value and you can add to your team. This was the fourth overall pick. You got to do something with him or you got to move him. And he has lots of value. I don't know if you can get a 2. But you may be able to get a player, and you could definitely get a 3. And this next year's draft is loaded with defensive players, and that's what you need on this Falcons team. So, yeah, sorry. I'm going to talk more about this if I get a chance. I have a running back problem. Joe Mixon, questionable. Irving playing today. Mostert and Singletary, questionable. Do you think Mixon can? Okay, Mixon, I have no confidence Mixon's going to play. I would consider him out. Bucky Irving, I don't think is going to get a lot of touches. He got more last week. Rashad White, food poisoning. Mostert is questionable. I have no idea, to be honest with you. I do think Singletary is going to play. And I low-key like that because you have the defensive front that's decimated with injuries. Keep an eye out. I would go with Singletary. I would not play Irving. And by the way, if you don't play Irving, you're really rolling the dice because you could have the rest of your guys out. I will say this. I have no confidence Mixon's going to play. I really think it's a coin flip, but I will say this. Miami really needs a win. So like if Mostert's like even close, I think he'll play. I do think Singletary will play, and I like the fact I think Singletary could have a good game against a beat up defensive front. So Gabriel her help on this lineup. I like playing guys on Thursdays. Okay, Debo probably going to play Deontay, Amari Cooper, Brian Robinson, Ridley, running back, Saquon on bar, JT suppose not going to play. Sure. I'm assuming you mean Sermon, JT's backup. Hunt Ford. Wow, that's a tough one. Okay. Jesus. I wish I had a little more time and I wasn't so behind on comments. I really want to dive into this in more detail. I don't like your quarterback at all. First off, oblique injury that affects your throwing. He was already struggling. Jacksonville really needs a win. He's from that area, so that could be a plus. There's so many things. Kelsey, tight end. I like Monday night. It could be a huge game for Kelsey. He doesn't have a touchdown this year. So, all right. Debo, if healthy, I really think you gotta play. I feel good about him playing, by the way. So, I low-key like Amari Cooper, has been doing almost nothing. Washington, even though they had a great week last week, I'm not sold on their defense, so I kind of like that. Brian Robinson against a tough Browns defense. Man. I wanted to make sure Ridley 1 catch, 5 yards. Jesus Christ. They gave him like 90 million. They gave him 90 million. Oh yeah, Tennessee's on bye. Never mind. Okay, so all right. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to play. But if he doesn't, start Sermon. Hunt on Monday night, I would go with you would have Kelsey and Kareem Hunt on Monday night. I like Zach Moss. I really do. God, I like Ford too. All right. So let's do this here. Deontay, I like the offensive scheme, playing the Bears defense. I leaning towards Amari. I think this is going to be the week. Debo, you got to play. All right. I would kind of roll the dice here, and I would go with Moss, and I would go Kareem Hunt. You got a Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce. Look, primetime matchup at home, Arrowhead, against a team that's got some injuries on defense. Hunt and Kelce makes sense. Those two. Debo, you got to play. All right. Don't like your quarterback. If you want to start Bucky, I would really recommend against it. I don't think he's going to play much. And Atlanta's defense is for real. Baltimore, I know traditionally has a good defense. They haven't played like it. I like Zach Moss. I also like Ford, but I already told you Hunt. So here's what I would recommend. You go with Debo. Roll the dice with Amari Cooper. He's too good to just be shut out forever. You can go with Deontay if you want. I don't hate you either way because I like the scheme. I like Dalton. Bad Bears. I'm not buying Washington having a great defense. So I go Amari. So Debo and Amari, and then this is what I'd recommend. If you have Jonathan Taylor, you said Jonathan Taylor's not going to play. If Jonathan Taylor's going to play, you have to play him. If he doesn't, start Sermon. Roll the dice with Hunt. God, I did say Washington's defense is tough. All right. Roll the dice, Zach Moss as your flex. Yeah, 4 options. You picked up Trey Sermon. Jonathan Taylor, you have to start. If you picked up Sermon, play him. I would go with Hunt on Monday night, just a hunch. Your problem is Ford or Moss. They're playing against each other. I'm sorry. Correct. Yeah, no, they're not. I'm sorry. I like to match up Moss against Baltimore. Brian Robinson's playing against Ford. And I like Ford better this week because I have no confidence Chubb's going to play this week. So, okay, I'm sorry. I'm going all over the place here. Let's just focus. Let's go with Debo and let's go Amari. Now you got 3 options. JT or Sermon. I would go with Hunt. And then you got to figure out Brian Robinson, Ford, or Moss. I kind of like Moss in this situation. I really do. That's I would love to go into a little more detail on this, but I want to get all the questions, and I'm really behind. So I know you got Bucky Irvin playing on Thursday night. I'm hoping that you can come back tomorrow. Hopefully you're not mad at me for not playing Bucky. Yeah, yeah, exactly, man. I'm here to help, brother. Pick 2, Shakir Pittman. Okay, so I I don't like Robinson. As long as Flacco's not playing quarterback, he can't play Pittman. Dave, what's up, brother? Mooney or Wandell? Weather is looking good in Seattle. Also, Kyler Fields' weather in Pittsburgh looks bad. Ooh, I didn't think about that. Okay. I wish I could tell you Mooney, but go with Wendell Robinson. Kyler Murray. I just got done Fields over Darnold, which I hate, but yeah. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I try not to. I try not to rant too much. It's just me, so I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, man. By the way, you can DM me, you can email me, you can put a comment afterwards, and I will get to you. I'm hesitant to say it because I have a small channel, but super chats are enabled. If you want to super chat, I will answer that immediately. I don't like saying that because I take pride in that. I just want to talk football with people. I'd love to get to a point down the line where I'm so big that I'm only answering super chats, but yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one. God, I love. The Falcons have this good secondary, and but I'm leaning towards Freiermuth. Like this much. Both are good. Running backs are demolished right now. Jonathan Taylor, Mixon, Pacheco. Do I pick up? Yeah, you want to pick up Sermon, definitely. I do think Jonathan Taylor is going to play. So, you have to drop Jerry Jeudy or Anthony Richardson, the quarterback. Oh boy, Jerry Jeudy's been the most productive receiver. I'm not a fan of Anthony Richardson. You might have to drop Richardson. God, you have to drop up Mixon to pick up Sermon. I would really hate for you to do that, but I have no confidence. Yeah, I'm just behind. I'm very sorry. That's a good one. I don't think Bucky's going to play that much. If Mozart plays, Chain's carries are going to be depleted. Both are going against tough defenses. I'm leaning towards Chain just a little bit. I don't think Bucky's going to play much tonight. Yeah, I know. All right. So good. I think I got through everything. I'm sorry for as long as I took. If I missed out on something, God, this is one I really want to touch base on because you have to drop Jerry Jeudy or Richardson. I don't want you to drop Jerry Jeudy right now because this is a dude I had a massive man crush on coming out of Alabama. I actually ranked them. I don't do like a scoring grade, but when they were coming out of the draft, I put Jerry Jeudy 1A. CeeDee Lamb 1B, and then it was Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs was the first receiver taken in that draft. Ruggs went 11, Jeudy went 15, CeeDee Lamb went 17, and Ruggs, of course, had that off-field incident. CeeDee Lamb clearly better than Jeudy. That's not even a debate. He's the number one guy in Cleveland, and I could see Cooper being moved. So I don't want you to drop Jeudy. Okay. Anthony Richardson, the quarterback. If that's the case, who else do you have? Hopefully you're not starting him. The Twitch chats go through. All right. Number one, I do expect Jonathan Taylor to play. Pacheco is going to be out for a while. Can you pick up Kareem Hunt? I'm not a fan of Madison at all. I don't like your running backs at all. But I mean, you might be in a situation where you have to play. You might have to play Bucky Irving. I'm a level with that. I do think Jonathan Taylor is going to play. I really do. But if he doesn't, or the injury lingers, Trey Sermon can do a lot of good things. I like Trey Sermon. Bucky Irving, I think is being phased out. Madison, I think, will get more and more touches, but I don't think is really an option I want to go with. I also would really hate for you to just drop a quarterback. Can I get a little more information? Like, are you in a league where you have two quarterbacks? Like, is there a third guy that you have? Like, is trading out of the option? Or trading not an option? Let me know. Yeah. All right. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you have Jaden Daniels, start him. Getting rid of Richardson. That would be my. But Judy has been doing more production. I love Jerry Judy coming out of college. Keep in mind, once the Browns offensive tackles and Chubb come back, like their passing offense is just going to be a lot better. But if you have Jaden Daniels as your quarterback, and then your backup at the beginning of the season, you might have been flip-flopped. So your bye is week 14, so you have some time. You may just want to drop your quarterback and then just kind of pick somebody up later on, because the way your running back room looks, I mean, you're going to drop one of these guys probably sooner or later. You don't have good options. Whatever you do, don't drop Jerry Jeudy right now. These are your options. What the hell? Okay, sorry. Yeah. Hopefully I got your question. I'm sorry. I feel really bad. I've been told this before. I drink a lot of energy drinks. I'm super amped up. However, I am available. Like, if you want to DM me, old school email, drop a comment, and I'll answer everything. Rachaad White, Bucky Irvin, Rachaad White. I think even though the defense for Atlanta is really, really good, I think this is a game Rachaad White gets like 5 to 8 catches. He'll be used more in Bucky Irving. I don't know if I would count on a touchdown. Madison may score a touchdown, but I mean, Denver's defense is playing really good right now. I'd have a hard time really banking on that, but I would go with Rachaad White if you have to go with one out of the three, which I'm assuming. But yeah, I think Rachaad White, fantasy wise, even though I'm not sure he'll get in the end zone, I could see a situation where he has like, I would not be surprised if his stat line was like 22 carries, 50 yards, but he gets 6 catches for another 50. And by the way, 100 yards total with 6 receptions in a PPR league is usually pretty good. And if he does score, then you're gold. But I think Rachaad White, this is going to be one of those like 5 to 8 reception type of games. So I kind of got a feeling like you want to go with Rachaad White out of these three. Houdini, what's up, brother? Hello, my man. How are you doing? I have a very intriguing trade that I'm confused about. My friend is offering Tyreek Hill for James Cook. You have James Cook. Do not make that trade. I at the beginning of the year, it might have made some sense. You 100% don't want do not do that now. Do not do that. No. Keep James Cooks is a great option right now for fantasy football owners. Yeah, you want to keep James Cook. There's really not too many people I would want to trade for James Cook. I do think Tyreek Hill's value is going nothing but up. I think Tyler Huntley is going to be the starter for the next couple of weeks, and I think he'll get better and better and better. And then I would like to see Tua retire. Just I don't want to see him get another concussion. The Miami Dolphins organization and Tua, I think, want to get back on the field. If that does happen, then Tyreek Hill becomes a number one wide receiver in the National Football League, becomes the number one receiver on your fantasy team, one of the best players in fantasy football. But I still would go with James Cook. So, yeah, keep Cook. I need to have a good week, Keaton. I think I honestly don't know. I mean, I got behind on comments, and I try to make the show that all questions are answered, anything goes. But you know me, I rant. I'm on energy drink number 2, but you have some things in your video that I like. And by the way, for those of you that don't know, Keaton Talks Sports has a YouTube channel. Keaton is very gracious. He comes on my show every Monday. And even though he's jealous about how my hair looks so much better than his, he's super awesome to have on. So do subscribe to Keaton Talks Sports. I have better hair. Both our videos are awesome. So make sure you subscribe to this channel. Juwan Jennings or Jacoby Myers. God, I'm not buying into Jennings being a viable option yet. I want to tell you Myers. It's just that I have no confidence. I think Denver's defense is good, and even though he'll have a game or two where he looks like he's a starting quarterback, Gardner Minshew is not really a viable option. I would go with Jennings. I mean, the matchup is favorable. You have the better quarterback. I mean, everything's better. So I would go with Juwan Jennings. Full. Yeah, I'm scared of Myers. Yeah, and I have no I'm going to be very clear. I'm not buying in Juwan Jennings like being a viable option, especially with Brandon Ayuk's touches are going to go up. George Kittle's touches are going to go up. Deebo Samuel's touches are going to go way up. Juwan Jennings is going to go down. Denver's defense is good, and I have no confidence in Gardner Minshew. So, K9, what's up, brother? Would you trade Najee and DJ Moore for Devon Achane and Roman Wilson in a it's interesting. I would instantly say no, but I want to say this: like Roman Wilson in a dynasty has a lot of value because I really thought that they would use him more, and I really think that eventually, like. I don't know if Pickens is going to be a viable option in Pittsburgh. I don't know. You know what? Let me do this here. This is a great question because this may not look like a good question. I think it's an excellent question, and I'll tell you why. Let me double check here. He's a 2nd-round pick, so his contract is up after this year. I could see a situation where Pittsburgh says, you know what, we're not going to pay you because Pittsburgh doesn't like doing that. They may have to figure out what to do at the quarterback position. Now, Roman Wilson has done nothing. I was adamant that this is a dude that they're going to like. Achane's a guy that's always going to be banged up. I'm going to still advise against this. And the reason why is I think Najee Harris has a lot of value. Now, he's a bigger running back, which means he has a shorter lifespan. But DJ Moore is a guy that, despite the quarterback situation in Chicago, which I'm not sure it's going to get better, I still would advise against this. Oh, he's been injured. Yeah. By the way, when he is healthy, I by the way, like if you're looking at this and you're wondering why, when Roman Wilson gets healthy and he starts playing, he's going to be really good. All right. And then you have a legitimate question, DJ Moore or Wilson. The reason why I would not make this trade is I think Najee Harris's value is so much higher than Devin A. Chain's. I really do. And DJ Moore, despite the bad quarterback play, is still putting up some good numbers. So I would advise against it. That said, Roman Wilson is a guy, once he starts playing, Steelers fans are really going to love this dude. Like this is a guy I really, really like. So, yo, what's up, fellas? Help me decide Najee Harris against Dallas. Okay. I'm a Chiefs fan. I also have to end the show. So I'm going to rapid fire through the rest of these. And then I have to end the show. However, you can comment on Instagram. If you're not a friend, you can shoot. I believe I can answer messages. They just come in. I check them. Better if you send me a friend request, but you can send me messages on Instagram. You can send me messages on X. You can also go old school and email me, dantalksfootball@yahoo.com. If you drop a comment on this video link, I will get to it after I finish watching Thursday Night Football. It will be before tomorrow's show, but it won't be before Thursday Night Football. It'll be late or early, depending on where you live. I will be back tomorrow, even though I'm not calling it Fantasy Football Friday yet. I can answer fantasy football questions tomorrow, but I do have to wrap up. All right. Yo, what's up, Phil? I like Hunt. I think Hunt's going to match up really well. I think they're going to get him more involved in the passing game. That said, Najee Harris against Dallas at home makes a lot of sense. That's a real tough one. You know what? I'm sorry, man. I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm gonna level with you, okay? I'm a Chiefs fan. I do think Hunt's gonna have a good game. I probably would go with Najee Harris. I really don't think you're. I'll be honest with you. I think Hunt's gonna have a big game. I really do, especially if you're in a PPR league. Probably go with Najee Harris. This is a situation. Najee Harris has a much higher floor. Kareem Hunt could have one of those massive games. I seriously would not be surprised if Kareem. It would not surprise me if Kareem Hunt ends up with like 100 yards with 5 or 6 receptions and a touchdown or 2. And the reason why is you have some injuries at linebacker on the Saints, and I can see the Saints focusing on Kelsey. And Kareem Hunt has a massive game. The offensive line of the Chiefs is really good. That's another thing to think about. But I would probably go with Najee Harris. Hunt's on a team. Damn. Yeah. By the way, like I would not blame you if you made that move. I really wouldn't, because you're banking on the upside of Roman Wilson versus, DJ Moore, where you have Rome Odunze, you have Keenan Allen, and I have no confidence Caleb Williams. If Pittsburgh goes all in on Justin Fields, this could, by the way, just kind of fun thing, Ohio State, Michigan. Anyway, sorry, but bottom line, after the season, you have no idea what's going to happen with the Pittsburgh quarterback situation. Even though I think Chicago's is not going to be good, so, but still, it's actually not a bad thought. I would stick with Najee Harris and DJ Moore for right now. However, if Roman Wilson's available, you may be able to sneak in and get him cheap, because I think it's going to be a good option for the future, especially in a dynasty league. I hope I hear from you again, K9, because I would love to dive into some more dynasty questions going forward. Final question of the show, start three. Nico Collins, yes. Jaden Reed, Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, Deontay Wicks. Okay, so I think you go with Collins. All right. I'm going to give you an answer. I'm going to give you an answer. It's going to be, okay, so here's the drill. I would go with DJ Moore. All right. I kept on saying I don't like Caleb Williams. Carolina's defense kind of struggling, but they're showing signs of life. I would go with DJ Moore. I'm leaning against Wicks and Reed. Even though the Rams defense has struggled, at times have looked terrible, I'm still going to advise against it. All right. I've been saying I've been raving about Minnesota's defense. London's weird. I might go with Garrett Wilson, even though it's against everything I've been saying. I would really lean against. I know the matchup favors Green Bay, and you can go with Reed or Wicks. Here's the problem. Which one of these guys? It's not going to be both. Like, both aren't going for 100 yards and a touchdown. That's your issue. Nico Collins is the one clear cut. If you need three, I'm going to tell you to do the opposite and go Wilson and Moore. If you want to go both Packers, I wouldn't hate you because this could be a high-scoring game. I got a weird feeling. Keep in mind, LaFleur coached under McVay for a long time. These two know each other. I got a feeling McVay's going to find some things to confuse them. I just got a weird feeling about this. I know Garrett Wilson. I already said London's weird. Minnesota's defense is awesome. I still might go. Look, just you look. They're all lined up against the wall. Your old school playground rules. Garrett Wilson would be one of those guys. I also think you have to take DJ Moore. So Collins and Moore, definitely. If you want to go Collins and the two Packers, I wouldn't hate you. I'm going to tell you that you could go with either Packer, but you're one of them's going to get nothing. One of them's going to have a big game. You can roll the dice, but I really think that, like, what I would do is, because you have a chance to have some high production with Collins and Moore, I'm going to tell you to go with Wilson, but. Let me know what you do. That's a great one, man. See you. I love it, brother. Hopefully you don't hold it against me. I'm a Chiefs fan. You get the last question in the show, but keep in mind, you can old school. You can email me, dantalksfootball@yahoo. I'll be on tomorrow for 3 full hours of football talk. It can be a fantasy football show if I get all fantasy football questions. Twitter, Instagram, or X, whatever you want to call it. Have a great day. Enjoy Thursday Night Football. I hope everybody comes back tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow.